into my base. Now he got a little bit greedy here. He has the skill Chemical Rage on Alchemist, which makes him really fast and attacks faster. And it's one of the few times really that you can say that the Alchemist is fast, because he's also kind of a slow son of a gun. And he saw that I was using Clarity and Heal Salve on my Pit Lord, and it's always good to try and cancel them. Like, just to put it in perspective, a Heal Salve, one dosage of it costs 33 gold, and a Clarity Potion costs 70. So if you cancel it probably like somewhere at the start of using it, you basically damage your opponent for 100 gold, which is more than one worker unit, a peon. But what's not good is to sacrifice a 210 gold hero in doing so. I did do a surround. Basically, if I keep this surround, I will end up killing him, that's a guarantee, but it will take quite long because he still has a lot of life, and during all the time I wouldn't be mining anything from my gold mine. So I thought I can do better. I put my peons in the burrow to deal in some extra damage. Like, as a pro gamer, you're always trying to look for like the best constellation of actions that's happening to create the best possible result with the highest efficiency. I was trying to get like plus 5% efficiency here, but I accidentally opened up for him to leave, which is about minus 100 efficiency, to be honest. Some quick disaster crisis management and a nice loose speed scroll surround, and I did end up killing him, but those peons were just in for the ride. He crept out a camp here, so it's not 100% loss for him. He did get a camp, but that's not something that was very good for him. Now he has to remake his Alchemist. Also, he forgot his 4th burrow. He's getting a Spirit Walker Adept training, that's pretty good. Now, what do you do after you kill a hero? You know that you can play more risky than usual. This is what I call a contested camp, in the sense that it's like in between us and it's too big to kind of rush in. It will take so long, and it's such an obvious place for anyone to want to creep, that you don't actually do it when you're on these positions, because if your opponent creep jacks you and he comes in from the back and he starts killing you while you're still going to town on the creeps, that's not a very good situation. But I know that I can do it because he doesn't have a second hero, so he would only be looking for hit and runs and not actual fights. He's going to kill my bestiary, which could set him up for attack advantage. I always like to think of different kinds of advantage in WarCraft 3. Usually if you have a disadvantage in one area, you don't actually want to try to get back in that area, because what happens usually is a snowball effect. Like, let's say if you're behind in creeping, if you try to come back in creeping and your opponent also keeps creeping, he will maintain that lead over you, and sometimes that's not a way to come back. So let's speak about the different categories. You have creeping advantage, you have like hero level advantage, you have items advantage, economic advantage by having expansions, and you can have unit composition advantage by having like the smarter units which counter your opponents. And also you can of course have army advantage, which just goes to say like you have more army than your opponent. And you can also have upkeep advantage, and this is a very unique aspect of WarCraft 3 and very interesting. If you are on low units and you're below 50 food, you're said to be in no upkeep, and this means that all the income you get does not get taxed, which is nice because tax really sucks. If you're in between 50 to 80 food, you're said to be on low upkeep, and you enter the tax bracket of 30% on all your incomes except creeping. And if you're above 80 food, you're in high upkeep and you practically get nothing. Everything goes to the IRS. You only get 30% of your income, which I think is really unfair, and they better make really nice roads from that. But so if you're below 50, you can have that advantage over your opponent. So what he's trying to do now is to get an army attack advantage, knowing he's behind on heroes and creeping and items. And greedily enough, although I have a town portal, I decide to run back. I felt even if I town portal, he might still end up killing this and then town portal out. I wanted to preserve my TP while making him use his. A TP, after all, costs 350 gold, so it's worth saving. I'm not sure if it's the right decision, but it was a greedy move by me, and maybe it pays off. End up killing a raider. He's speech calling away. Did he scout? Yeah, he scouted that I have an expansion, and he felt maybe he can go cancel it before he TPs, which is probably a good idea. Kill the peon, otherwise I'll just remake it right away. I guess he should TP out right now, which he does. So let's look at the position that we're in. I have 43 food, 400 gold, which means I have the capacity to go to just about 50 now. I have a war mill, I have no upgrades, level 3 and 2, and I have a heal scroll and a bunch of nice items. And he's level 2, 2. He has a lot of consumable items, heal souls and clarities. He's already at 50 food and he has some money, so he's slightly ahead in the food. And also he has spirit walkers, which are not necessarily higher tech than Kodos, but as we know now, many years later, spirit walkers are very good in Orc versus Orc. I actually was the one that started using them, but I didn't use them 100% of my games. I did show how good Spirit Link was, and as we know now, they are a big part of Orc versus Orc. He doesn't have a war mill, and he decided to go creeping. He kind of made a mistake there. He dropped his boots of speed, and he didn't actually use it or pick it up. And I'm not sure any of us picks it up at any time in the game. He's creeping here, and he doesn't know if I'm going to creep check him. Now I'm kind of having a sixth sense here. I felt like, yeah, maybe he'd be creeping here. Just take a look, or maybe I'll creep it myself. You see, I already summoned wolves. I found him there, which is a pretty nice situation for me. This is kind of the first real big fight that we're having. This is the first Pit Lord versus Alchemist situation, and it's kind of funny because he has a spell, Alchemist. The Alchemist Acid Bomb reduces my armor and makes my units easier to die. And I have Howl of Terror, which reduces his damage, which makes my units more hardy. So they kind of counter each other out. At this point, he decided to go for my Pit Lord, which is probably an atrocious decision since I have Evasion, I have a TP, I have 6.6 armor, thanks to Protection Scroll, Aura Item, and Circlet. I also had Heal Scroll, I have Howl of Terror, so his units do less damage. And I Fire Rain myself, so everything from him is dying around me. I didn't want to take too much risk, so I TP'd out before I was too close. And he lost his Alchemist. So why did he keep attacking me? You could say... Okay, he died. You could say that was like he's kind of tilting out. Everything didn't go as he planned so far, and once he committed to attacking the Pit Lord, if he stopped halfway, not only would he look like an ass, like why did you attack and then stop if you didn't kill him, but it would also be like wasted opportunity for him to do so. But as an RTS gamer, sometimes you need to be familiar with the concept of sunk costs. You already spent some effort, you see it's not going to work, just accept that you lost that money and don't try anymore. And it takes a good player to do that. In poker you would call that a good laydown. Even after you've like betted and then raised or re-raised, you still need to lay it down if you see you're going to lose. And he was unable to do that at this time. I had TP, so had he checked he probably wouldn't have. And I got a lot of kills for that, and that cost him dearly. But even after making bad decisions, you can still make good decisions. And he went straight, sniffed out my expansion. I expanded once, he thought I'll surely try it again. And he cancelled it at the 99% mark, which is pretty good. And he TP'd out. So he's making sure he's not going to fall behind economically. His hero is back, and now he'll be looking to do some creeping. No, I'm expanding again, this time with a watchtower. And going for some creeping. But I don't want to do so without a TP, I think. I'll probably buy one. Yeah, and a protection scroll. Because with the layout of the map, it's a pretty fast way for him to go to my base, and I'd be all the way across the map. It's asking for a base race and to lose my main base, which could result in eventual loss of the game if I don't buy a TP. So you want to have that. Buy a TP, lose the game. Buy a TP, lose the game. One more advantage I didn't mention, upgrades advantage. I'm on 0-2 right now. speed up a little bit, as creeping is incredibly interesting for me to watch, but not everyone agrees. An interesting decision now. He went straight over 50 food because he's at a disadvantage. So the way for him to win right now is to actually... it's not economically feasible to go over 50 food with so little money, but the way for him to win is to have more food than you would usually expect him to have at this point in the game. And I think that really characterized the card. He was aggressive, in your face, excellent micro, and he had big army real fast. And yeah, so if he catches me right now, he's going to have 2 units more than me. And despite all the advantages I had thus far, those 2 units could really make a difference. So, as you can see, I'm still at 50 food. I invested... this is about 500 gold. No, more. 550 gold. I upgraded to armor. That's another 400 gold. And I'm upgrading a tank. That's another 100 gold. So I invested about 1,000 gold. And if you couple that together with my earlier expansion attempts and the peons I lost, that's like 1,300 gold that went into non-threatening things. If you think about it like that, that's really how he could actually have 3 units more, 10 food more than me. I'm doing all these things which will set me up for a good late game, upgrades, expansions, but he was very aggressive and he cancelled it and he stopped it. So that was a really nice job by him that he kept himself in the game like that. And maybe it shows that I was too passive or too like long-minded in the game. And I think that's why usually in most of the times we met, because we met a lot, Zagard and I, he had the early game advantage, but in the end I always won. Greedy.
Our town is under attack. Work complete.
This is kind of funny. This is extremely risky move. All I have to get out here is a Staff of Teleport, and it can be cancelled by Raider and Snare. Now, obviously I don't see anything, but by the time I see him, it's too late. So I was watching this replay just now in preparation, and I thought, surely now I will Staff of Teleport out, right? Like, he's gonna come at any time, right? If he clicks my hero, he can see all the items I have, and he knows that if he gets in range, this equals 1 dead Pit Lord. So that's gonna be a huge incentive for him to come back home and snare the hero, because these are the kind of advantages that he needs to kill a level 4 hero, get loads of experience, take my hero out for a while, and possibly do like a quick counterattack. So there's really no reason for me to hang out here except like to see how pretty fire range he can produce. I thought surely I will staff out now, right? Like I even planted a fake memory in my head where that's actually what happened, but nope. I want to kill this burrow, and there's the raider, so now I'm basically screwed.
Work complete.
A little bit of adjustment on my microphone there. Yep, so I can't actually get out now. He ensnared my Pit Lord, and I will die. But I do take out this burrow before I die. A noble act, Pit Lord. A noble act.
Our hero.
For such an ugly one. So, Pit Lord dead, I quickly have to remake it, and I think at this point, yeah, I did go over 50 food. There's really no reason to wait any longer. Quickly have to pump army and for the inevitable attack soon. He's just getting 2 heal scrolls and then moving in for the kill. Sending some wolf harassment, and he catches a couple of my units here. But it's actually not that easy for him to fight right now. Like, I have Kodos, I have superior upgrades, and it's not really a good position for either of us, but my grunts are in front of his raiders, and grunts do bonus damage on raiders, so it's not that nice for him to fight. He decides to run until he has Spirit Link, and now suddenly it's quite good for him. He didn't have that yet. Spirit Link distributes all the damage that he receives kind of equally, not completely, but kind of equally over all his units, and Heal Scroll heals 150 points of healing on all units that are around it, like no matter how many. So the more units that have a little bit of damage, the better Heal Scroll is, and that's going to help him a lot in this fight. So doesn't look good for me. I TP out. Just need to buy some time for my Pit Lord to come back, which is about 50% now. And I'm doing some peon harassment here. This is going to cost him money. And basically this puts him more and more all in, because he's losing peons, he's losing mining times. Means he's not going to get any more reinforcements anytime soon.